you done fiddling with your mic?
Okay, fuck it.
Okay.
I'll figure it out. Is that my internet connection, that shit? Or...
It could be mine, to be honest.
Welcome back to BURYMEINABLAZER. I have a very close, a very, very special friend on, Jasmin, who is actually the host of her own podcast. I'm madein. So welcome on to BURYMEINABLAZER.
Thank you. I love that I'm your special friend.
Of course you're my special friend. What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. I love being described as a special friend.
Yeah, you're very special. The only reason it took this long to have you on is because it's just intimidating. You know, I had to get up my own podcast first, you know, to like prove to you that it was worth you coming on.
Oh my gosh. Even if you FaceTimed me and had just me watching it, it would still be a podcast I would listen to. Like, don't be silly. But I will say I was offended that it took you this long for you to ask me to come on.
Okay, to be fair, I asked you to come on a long time ago and it just never happened.
You know, it was like one of those things. I was like, well, I wonder if like Mac's just doing it to be nice, and like if she really wanted me, she would ask again. You know, I was playing the game because I wanted to be wanted.
Yeah, but I think that was both, because I also thought, what if she like doesn't actually want to be on here and she's just doing it to be nice and is like, I can't do it.
No,
like,
I 100% knew, and I was like, I bet Mac is thinking exactly the same thing I'm thinking, and that's why we're just like not like we're not.
Yeah, one day we'll do it. Like
one day. I know Mac wants to, but here we are. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I do. Okay, so Jazz, what do you do in the city? What do you do for work? Tell me about yourself.
All right. Well, in the city, what do? I work in direct to consumer brands. I work in branding. No, not branding. I'll just say what I do, and I don't think there's like one word for it. So I work for a company and I help with a lot of their like project management, branding, operations, logistics. I'm kind of wearing a lot of different hats right now, but I guess like my background, I first started in PR, and then as most stories go, I went back and did a stunt at Aritzia as a manager. And then, which I'm sure that topic will come up a little bit down the line of this convo. And then, yeah, I worked in a little bit of tech. A lot of it always was like events, kind of like events planning. I wonder if you even knew what I did not at Aritzia or like in my career.
I'm trying to think of what you would have done when you first left Aritzia, like what that job that you left for. Like I probably would remember if you say it, but I don't know what you did before Aritzia at all.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the majority of my life. But like, yeah, I like worked in PR. I guess like the titles that I had are like account manager, project manager. That's what I do. It's not that fun, but here I am. I think still to this day, I still don't know what I want to do. And I am such a firm believer there is not a dream job. You just kind of have to wake up and make it work every day.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think, everybody says if you find a job you love, you don't work at all. But it's like, okay,
it's
realistically, that's amazing, but that's not going to pay my fucking bills every month. Like in the meantime, before I, maybe one day hit the jackpot and I find that amazing job, but like what else are you supposed to do in the meantime?
I know. And I'm beginning to realize that like I've always known this about myself, but I definitely tie my job to my identity. And I don't know if that comes from always wanting to be like known for what I do. And like there was such like a vain part of me that like, oh, like when I go into a room, I want someone to ask me where I work and I say it and everyone's like, oh wow, like I know that brand. I don't know why, but like something about that gratification or acceptance was like really important to me. But then after I did get to work in those like cool brands, like I realized it's actually so empty and like there's not that much there. So I'm trying to be like conscious to that, like I'm not investing too much in my job so that I get disappointed, or like if that job doesn't actually fulfill me the way it needs to, it's not a detriment to who I am as a person, because I had it such so connected together. So like now I feel like whatever like next job opportunity that I'm looking for, like I want to do it for my genuine excitement and like passion, and like don't get too attached to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like you're one of the few people that I know. I feel like everyone's like very scared to switch jobs or go after a job that they really want and change careers or try things or try different companies until something sticks. People are pretty afraid to do that. Like if you can stick at a job for like 6 years, then it's like, okay, maybe I can transition to another job. But I feel like you're one of the only people that are like, you know what, this actually isn't working for me, so I'm going to go try something else. And I think that's a good thing. Because like, what's the point of staying in something that you know you don't like? First of all, say it's whatever maybe not just like the company you don't like, but you're like, actually this job isn't for me, so I'm gonna go try something else, and I'm gonna go try something else. And like, it's not because you can't keep a job, but it's because like I feel like you just know that it's not working, you want to go find something that's gonna actually fulfill you.
Yeah, I think that's so true to my detriment that like I think I've only had one job for every 2 years, and I'm like so good at being like, okay, my next job, this is what I'm gonna want. And like, you know me, like I don't take no for an answer. Like if I want a job, I will go to the ends of the earth to like get an interview or cold message someone here or like get me connected here to like get it. So I work really hard to get the job that I want, but then when I'm in it, I realize, oh wait a minute, like I actually don't like about this. And then I get like fixated on that and I move on to the next thing. And to your point, I think there is a benefit and a negative to both of those, because I'm very much the person, like I'd rather do something and regret it and never do it. That wouldn't sit well with me. And to be fair, looking back at my like career journey, I'm so thankful for all of my experiences, because I can see how everything kind of weaved into each other to be where I am today. I mean, I think there's definitely some traumatic moments. I hope to have not had it in my life. I don't really added any benefit to me. But yeah, I guess I do like that about myself. And I love projecting that energy onto other people too. Like whenever I'm talking to someone new or that they want to be connected, I love like looking through my Rolodex to be like, oh my God, like you should be connected with this person. Let me make an introduction with you here and there. And it's some part of that is kind of self-serving, because like I really think there's like work karma. Maybe the more connections I make people when I'm in need, like it'll come back to me. So it just all goes around in circle.
Yeah, I mean I get like the selfish part, but it's also like you're not gatekeeping. Like you want to help somebody else achieve what they can, so then you also can. I mean, I get like why people would maybe say like that sounds selfish, but I mean, if you're gonna get me what I want, why would I have a problem helping you get what you want? You know,
scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Also, when you're like, oh, I like, I chase after this job until I get it, and then I realize I don't really like it. It's like that's I do that too, but with men.
I don't think I've ever chased after a guy. The one time I like really, really liked a guy, it just backfired on me so hard. I still cringe thinking about like how thirsty I was. That's like my one regret.
I feel like I don't feel like I chase, but it's like, oh my God, okay, I want this guy to like me, and I like this guy so much, and then the second the guy says he likes me, I'm like, whoa.
No, literally that fucking TikTok I sent you when it's like, when I do everything I can to have the guy like me, the guy likes me. Oh no, like I'm not into you. That is back to a fucking T. And it's so funny because like I feel like you get, I don't know, like do you think it's not like you get sick of guys fast?
Yeah, no, I'm not emotionally available. So like I just want the satisfaction of them being like, oh my God, I like you. So then I can be like, I actually don't like you at all.
Yeah, like I feel like you do. Oh no, I get it. I feel like you think that you're not mysterious, but I think you're one of the most mysterious person I know. And
really?
Maybe 100%. And like you sometimes send me TikToks being like, oh, like when you want to be the mysterious girl, but you can't stop talking. And I was like, Mac, like this is the last thing I think about you, because I think
oh my God, see, when you send that to me, I'm like same, like I always am like, okay, like next time I get into a relationship, I'm never gonna post them on Instagram. First thing when I'm talking to a guy, like I want to post something about them, or like I'm not gonna tell anybody about anybody I'm talking to. This is like first thing, I'm like tell the next 10 people I'm texting the same problem. I can't keep my mouth shut. That's how I feel. But maybe not.
No, but that is definitely not the reality that you project, I feel, because if anything, I feel like I have to like dig at you to be like, okay, so like did you ever talk to that guy again? And like one time you messaged me and be like, I have a secret to tell you. And I kid you not, I ran through every single scenario of this like toxic guy you were talking to, be like, she's gonna tell me that he did this and she's gonna go there and that was a robot, and it ended up being like, oh, I like Max Verstappen, which was actually the biggest like mistake you've ever made. But yeah,
I was thinking, what's the secret I told you? But yeah, it was that
big fucking secret you dropped. No, but I actually think you're quite secretive. Like I think you're really mysterious.
Oh, I think that's a compliment.
Yeah, I think it is too. I'm jealous. Teach me.
I mean, I thought I was an open book, but like, I'm secretive because I'm embarrassed.
What are you embarrassed about? Your decisions?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, maybe So I do agree with your statement that you are an open book, because I feel comfortable asking you anything and you will tell me the answer, or like we'll have a good discussion about it. But I think like outside looking in, you have this allure of essence of like mystery, and I'm jealous.
Perfect. I'll take it.
So yeah, so hone in on that. I literally have told my FedEx delivery driver like what color nails I have. Like I would tell anyone anything. That's a true story.
Why?
Like, no, I think I meant maybe like complimented me on my nails. I was like, oh my God, I'm telling you this story. And then I would like told him how I got to choosing this nail color. Like I told him the backstory, and he's like, please sign here. Like, here's your package. He's
like, I was just trying to do like a little bit of a flirt and like not trying
to. Fuck this bitch. Never coming this route again.
Oh, okay. So mysterious will work on for sure.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I don't need to be mysterious anymore. I mean, no, I would still like to be. But, you know, a sick part of me, when I go into Aritzia and I meet new girls, like, I love finding out that they were intimidated by me.
Yeah, to be honest.
You know what I mean?
It's almost like you knew it, but it's nice to hear it.
Oh, 100%. Every time they say it, I was like, oh, you were.
No, I've never heard that before. That's wild.
I have never heard that before. No, I think it's just like, because in all honesty, I'm the least intimidating person. Maybe it's like the fact that like I can never be mysterious, because I think I'm such like an open book and like such an aloof person that like having that a little bit of intimidation and edge makes me feel cool.
Yeah, you are cool. I was intimidated by you when I first met you too.
Oh, let me tell you the story about how I first met Mac, everyone. It was back in, I don't even know.
I think it was like 2015. I think maybe end of 2014 to 2015. But yeah.
Okay, yeah. I still remember exact outfit that you're wearing. You're wearing your low-rise rag and bone skinny jeans with this like beat up black booties and like a Wolfer Free like raglan tight turtleneck, like a mock neck, all black outfit.
And you know what? They were
the Megaball?
Yes.
Yeah, obviously. That was the shoe for every
the uniform. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so we obviously met at Aritzia. It was working at Yorkdale. And I don't know, this like tall, like model looking girl had the most like resting bitch face and like closing. And like she did a really good job in her section. And this is why I came to actually like her. But yeah, no, I thought she was the biggest bitch. And like you like didn't like pay attention to me or like say hi to me or anything. And I was like, oh, that's how it's going to go. So I had this like, oh, like Mac, like whatever. She's just like pretty blonde. And then she came and like prepped her clothes for sale at cash, and it was the most beautifully folded thing ever. And I was like, who did this? Like, who prepped this? And she's like, I did. And I was like, we're gonna be really good friends.
And that's how it started.
Everyone.
That's how I got in with the cashiers. I became one with the cashiers.
And you know, you gotta make the cashiers your best friends.
Yeah, everybody knew my number. 112243.
Oh yeah, I definitely didn't know it. Sorry. I knew back then. It's been a while.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I'll give you that. Anyways, yeah, so we met at Aritzia and became friends, have been friends ever since. Mm-hmm. And we've been to many different stores together.
We have. Yeah,
you came to, I think like three or four. Three, I think.
Queen, Wilfred, Bloor again.
Bloor, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, you can meet lifelong friends at Aritzia.
All of my best friends are from Aritzia, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe not now, because you're definitely like one of the oldest ones that works there.
I'm literally that woman that worked there when I worked there in my early 20s being like, wow, she still works here.
Yeah, like, oh my God. I'm never going to be that age and working here. Meanwhile, I was like older than some of those girls now.
Here we are.
Yeah.
But I do it's nice when like they ask, like, because I try to make conversation with the girls that I meet. And I was like, oh, like, so are you in school? And they're like, yeah. Like, how about you? Like, what are you taking? And I'm like, it's so cute that you think that I can still be in school.
Yeah. And then, some of them are in high school.
Like I remember this like traumatic moment where like, I made a reference to the hills or something and they had no idea what I was talking about. And I was like, I need a minute. Do you remember I was like helping you prep at Yorkdale and California, the OC song was on and we were all freaking out behind the cash desk and there was these young girls and we were like, oh my God, the OC. And we're like, oh, do you guys know this song? They're like, what? And we were like, leave.
Oh my God. Like we're in
Leave
this
the store.
generation that they don't
Yeah.
even know what this is from.
Yeah, that was a dark day.
Yeah, that's when I
Remember
realized I
that.
was old.
Yeah, that's all right.
So tell us a little bit about your podcast and when you started and like how it came to be and everything.
Yeah, so I have a podcast called Madein. It's with my friend Evie, who I actually met at Aritzia as well. And she's Chinese Canadian. I'm Korean Canadian. And I had pitched the idea to Evie when I first started. This was like back in 2018, 2019, when like podcasts were still like just becoming a thing. I grew up in like a very white community in high school and university. So like I never really got to like embrace my Asianness per se. And I think deep down I knew that I was like really becoming like white assimilated or like really not embracing that part of my life to fit in. And it wasn't until I actually started working at Aritzia when I got to see beautiful representation of unique Asian women. I have never seen an Asian woman with like a face piercing or like maybe wear like kind of revealing outfits or like really have identity to them. And that just like opened up a whole new world for me that like, oh my God, like I can be this person too. Because also growing up, I grew up in the era of like Lizzie McGuire and Mary-Kay Ashley. Not only did I've never seen an Asian girl on TV unless it was like Brenda Song. She was like,
like a side character or it was never the main character.
Exactly. So like I never really got to live my high school with an example of coming of age stories that I could be represented on TV that I was watching. So I just felt really excluded and like didn't really have anyone to look up to. And then it wasn't until making more like Asian woman friends, I kind of got to like really come alive and like be authentically me. And then I was listening to this podcast called like Still Processing, and it was by two Black culture writers for the New York Times. And they would talk about pop culture stuff that I really loved, whether that was, you know, what's happening in the music industry or like a TV show, like cultural moments, but they also were able to include their point of view as Black Americans. And I thought that perspective was really cool. And I was like, oh, like there's so many things that I watch on social media or like whatever. I obviously have a different take from my perspective, and it'd be really cool if I can have another person call me up talking about it. And personally for me, if I had something like that I could listen to, like I would have loved it growing up. So I pitched the idea to Evie because anytime her and I would party or whatever, we always end up having a conversation about this kind of topic, or I felt really safe talking to her about things that maybe I didn't normally want to talk about with my white friends or whatever. So then, that kind of came about being Madein, where we wanted a platform where we can talk about anything. It doesn't have to be Asian specific, but anything from our perspective. And we just kicked it off. To be quite honest, like I'm sure you now know too, like it's quite a bit of work putting together a podcast.
Totally.
We had a really amazing run. I think like the biggest peak of that era was like, I think last year, fortunate and unfortunately during the peak of anti-Asian hate and after the Atlanta shooting, we really picked up a bit of momentum, just being able to have that safe platform for, I think, other listeners to like have a space to chat. We got part of Spotify's API Heritage Month Spotlight, which was really cool. Like some of our pictures were in like digital billboards in like San Francisco and like New York. So that was really amazing to have the recognition. And we've been so lucky through like Evie's connections to interview Roy Choi, who I've been like such a fan of just with all of his work. So definitely have some like peak experiences, but I think sometimes when like just like also like life gets in the way, so it's not hasn't been as consistent as we want it to be. But I know I always just feel like there's something bigger that we can make of this. And if anything, if only like 5 of my friends listen to it, like I would still do it.
Yeah, because you're mostly, in the end, you're doing it for you, because as much as I've learned with doing this, it's almost like you're giving yourself therapy when you're doing 100%. It. And especially when you're talking about something that's like, obviously something you're proud of, but something very dark as well, because you're talking about, you know, growing up and being the only Asian a lot of the times, or feeling oppressed. Does it feel super heavy to have those conversations so often? Like, does that weigh on you, or does it feel like much better to speak it out loud kind of thing?
Honestly, I think both, because I remember Evie and I did an episode right after the shooting, and it was like such an emotional day for me, like unprecedented obviously, but I didn't think I was going to have that much of like an emotional reaction to it. And like in that moment, it was so nice to be able to talk through it real time with someone that I trusted, and to provide support for each other, and hopefully to people who got to listen to our episode too, kind of like have some other perspective or whatever. But then there are moments where it just kind of kept being like, like a trauma porn of all the violence that was happening. And like, yeah, it definitely got to a point where it's like, dude, like I cannot talk about this one more time.
Yeah.
And then those are the points where like I think Evie and I are really good at like putting our mental health and like what is gonna be our need first to be able to be like, hey, listen, you know what, let's just like take some time. I think that's why we've also been quite infrequent with our episodes recently, is because like we know we're not doing it authentically with the passion that we want to, so we're just like we'll come back to it when we're ready.
Yeah, I mean, people that are actually going to listen to it are going to listen to it whenever you put out content, no matter what. It's not like, okay,
I hope so.
They, you know, they haven't put something, but it's like they're going to want to listen to the topic that you're discussing anyways, because it'll relate to them, or they can relate to it, or I'm going to listen to it even if it's not something I can relate to, but it's because I want to listen to, you know, the way that you're viewing it and like how you feel about that situation, essentially, right? So,
oh my god, I recently discovered Forbidden Fruits. Did you ever listen to that podcast?
Okay, is that with Julia Fox?
Yes.
Okay. No, I didn't, but I remember when she first started dating Kanye, her Forbidden Fruit stuff was still on her Instagram page, and then it was gone, so I never saw it again.
The pipeline of how I got to Forbidden Fruit podcast is I listened to this one called Scamfluencers, and they talk about scam influencers, and it goes from like, I don't know, like Anna Delvey to like all these like really weird shit that I've never heard about. Like, did you know there were these like two girls from Toronto who became like the Abu Dhabi princess or something, and they like scammed all this money, and they're from like Mississauga.
Really?
Yeah, they were known to be like the Toronto Kardashians, and they were like in jail. I don't know, they were in jail somewhere in Africa or something like that. I don't know, but anyways, they did this about this girl like Danielle Bernstein or whatever. Who?
Oh, we were what?
No, I thought that was about.
Oh, okay.
There's another girl named like Dana, whatever, and she was crazy. She like scammed so much like wire fraud and like stole so much money, and then created this fake media company, whatever. And then she was on Forbidden Fruit, and they played a couple of clips, and I was like, oh my god, that one sounds interesting. And I didn't know, I had no idea what it was. So I went and listened to Forbidden Fruit, and it's like Nikki Takash, who I have no idea who she is, but with Julia Fox. And I listened to every single one of their episodes recently, and it's so good.
Is it?
I think you would like it. I fucking stan Julia Fox. I think she's so funny. I think she's so original. I love listening to her.
Because like I watch her on TikTok, now, not like all like the crap. Everybody got introduced to her in the worst way possible, but she's actually like such a cool woman and like and has really good views and like stances, but everybody gave her like the worst rap because she came out in a paper interview magazine with dating Kanye, that it was like, what the fuck is this girl? But yeah, I think she's done a total turnaround.
I know, good for her. It's so funny because like some of the episodes were filmed before, or like recorded before the whole Kanye thing, but they actually do one episode post everything with Kanye, like very recent, and like Julia openly talks about everything. And even from the idea I got of her, because I obviously saw her in Uncut Gems, and like I didn't really think about her, but it's so true to her brand of everything that has happened and like what is happening now. So I feel like she genuinely is just who she is, and like I respect her for that.
Interesting. All right, well, I'm done with
I would
that.
definitely give it a listen. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So Jazz and I like to go out and party once a year, mostly on King Street. Yeah, we're due for like another night out, but we kind of don't really know where to go.
This is my thing. Yeah, like I guess our prime time of going out was like Libertine, Apartment 200, or like we grew up in the era where there was like all these pop-up parties. So like a couple of our friends were like promoters or like event planners would rent like random spaces.
They still are. Have you not seen?
Right. So we used to go to pop-up parties a lot, and back then like it was so fun. It was still like we wore like a lot of bralettes. It was like small top, big pants season still. But then now I just like generally just want to go like dance, and I don't know where to go where I'm not going to be surrounded by 20-year-olds wearing like pixie fairy dust outfits.
Sheen outfits.
Yeah, Sheen outfits.
I was saying
one more Melinas. I cannot.
I was saying to somebody the other night, I was like, I honestly don't know where to go. Like, sure, I'm fine like to go out for dinner. I don't care if I go to King West for dinner, but I'm usually out of there by the time it gets scary down there.
Yeah.
But I was like, honestly, I feel too old to even be down there because the way that everybody is dressed, I don't even know how to dress anymore because like it's so, everybody's like 19 and in like dresses like they're going out in Vegas.
To be fair, without sounding stupid, I feel like whatever we do end up wearing is gonna be the best outfit on King Street regardless.
That's a pretty true statement. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But honestly, maybe the shtick is that we just have to embrace it. Like we just have to embrace that we're still hot and that we can go out and it's like a stigma we have that like, oh my God, these are gonna be young 20-year-olds. Because like think about how many like 30-year-olds were partying with us when we were 20.
Yeah, but I can't remember if I thought they were lame or not.
I know, true. I 100% thought that was lame.
Yeah, like who's this old bitch here with us?
Yeah, past our bedtime. Which is true.
Seriously. Yeah. Oh yeah. If I'm like out past 9 o'clock, I'm like cutting it close.
Oof. Yeah.
I've been going on so many dates lately and I'm just like, I don't really have time.
God.
I don't have time for this.
Prime example. How did I not even know that you were going on dates? I've talked to you every single day this week and you have not brought up dating.
But because I feel like I need to tell a lot of this to you in person, and then I knew I was going to see you on Sunday, so I was like, I have like 5 stories that I can unload on you at once.
Fine. Okay, fine.
But I've been busy.
I have been
busy.
Wow. But that's why I've been so pissed. Be Real's been going off at like 11:49 p.m. and like I'm sleeping. Like I cannot be real right now. I'm in dreamland. So
I deleted Be Real.
10 p.m.
I can't.
He did not make the cut.
I had it for like a week and a half, and I was like, this is not for me.
Oh my God. Well, I actually was like, I'm gonna be real when I'm on a podcast. No, I love Be Real, but okay. Well, give me a little snippet about your date.
Well, I've been on dates with a few different men in the last 2 weeks. One I met through a mutual friend.
Ooh, I love a mutual friend meetup.
Yeah, I was like at dinner with Carly and a friend came. So that was nice. And then we have went out since. And then just like a blast from the past as well.
Okay, great. I'm excited to guess who that's going to be on Sunday.
And then, just like 2 other kind of randoms. One I cut because he was a bit of a freak. The roster needs to be shortened. It's too long.
Yeah, I love it.
Good for you. Oh my God. Jasmine doesn't.
Like we haven't. What?
I was gonna say you don't understand what it's like out here in the trenches. Okay, Jasmine's not single. She's been in a beautiful relationship for 2-3 years now. I remember it was like her first birthday that they were kind of like seeing each other, and we went to dinner and he bought I think 5 girls, he bought us a bottle of wine, and this was like, you guys were pretty fresh. Like none of us had met him yet, I don't think. He came that night after.
Oh my God, that was actually such a sweet night. It was like a month, honestly, like weeks since I met him, and he came in really hard and strong. And I'm genuinely so lucky because he wasn't from Toronto, so I think that's what really changed the game. Because like all the Toronto men's and I've been in the thick of the single dating world in Toronto, so like I feel like I can have a lot of say in it. But yeah, like you don't talk about feelings like 3-4 months minimum of dating someone. You are exclusive, but no one will just bite the bullet and like ask. But like with Leo, I think less than 24 hours from our first date, he was like, I like you, we're gonna date, and this is a thing.
Yeah, but do you think that's because he's from UK? Like, I feel like European guys are different. Totally different.
I think it's definitely like a London thing. Like, and I think even for the London women are also like so forward, and they just don't want to like waste time. And I don't know why North America fucked up and we're sitting in this toxic dating.
Yeah, where nobody wants to admit anything. But like, I have heard that the British or UK guys, European, whatever in general, are a lot more forward. They'll tell you what's up. Like, definitely they can still be douchebags, but like they're pretty,
they cut to the chase. Yeah, which I love, and I never experienced it. But to be fair, like it took a long time for me and Leo to be like actually official on my brain, because it was such a culture shock for me. I think, to be sorry to Leo, like he chased me for a really long time before I finally was like, okay, like I actually like you too, because I was just been so jaded by my past dating experiences in Toronto where I was like, there's no fucking way this guy like actually knows what he wants. Like he's met me for like a day.
Because even when he sent that on your birthday and everything, like I could tell you obviously thought it was a really like nice gesture and you liked it, but you were still kind of like, oh yeah, like who knows, like what's going on with us? I don't know about this kind of thing. Like it wasn't, you weren't like set on it yet.
No,
you were still very
it was
like
so overwhelming.
Yeah.
And thanks for reminding me because I always forget about that beautiful gesture that he did. Even though I should probably remember it more often.
Didn't he do it again this year when we went to dinner?
Yeah, he did.
Don't worry, Leo. I got your back.
Fuck. No, but there was a time where I literally thought like you and Leo were gonna start dating because Mac loves men and tattoos, and I wasn't the biggest fan of tattoos, and Leo is covered. And there was that time, I think maybe first few weeks of us dating, like you saw him on King Street so much more often than I did, and I was like, you fuckers.
Oh, saw Mac again. Oh, I just saw Leo. I just saw your catted boyfriend all alone.
Yeah. Oh my God. But I do sometimes think like grass is always greener. And I was like, I wonder what it would be like to be single and dating again. No, and then you look at me like that and you're like, shut the fuck up. But do you think you would be happy in a relationship, long-term relationship right now?
Not right now, no. And I really try and like I've said a million times to enjoy where I'm at. And like, I do think like I am in no position to be in a relationship. Like no matter how badly say I wanted to be in one, I can tell just by the way I am right now, even dating, like and even like girls at work, when I tell them like stories, like Emily and Megan, they're like, you are so unemotionally, you aren't available.
You're broken.
Like you're emotionally unavailable. So it doesn't even matter. No matter what these guys do, you're not ready to date somebody anyway. So I'm like,
that's not, but do you accept that too?
In the last 2 weeks, I've very much come to that realization that they're not wrong.
That's good. Because like, I feel like at least that like then I feel like you have your intention and expectation going into it. Whereas I feel like before there was such a part of you that like, I'm still hopeful maybe this is the one. Because, you talk about like the first guy that you actually generally had a crush on after your big breakup, you were so let down from it. But I think with that, maybe you were thinking, oh, like he's not the right one or the timing isn't right, but it's actually your active choice. Like I'm not emotionally available right now. It's like, that's why like stars aren't aligning for you. It's nothing about the guy.
Yeah.
Well, is it about the guy? Let me make that clear. It's about the guy.
No, the guy is absolutely perfect.
Absolutely.
No, I was telling
what?
I was telling my therapist, she's like, okay, but if you think down to it, why have you not actually just told this person how you feel? And I was like, because I'm scared that they do feel the same and then I don't want to be with them. And she's like, exactly. Like, it's because you don't actually want to date them. Like you don't like them. And I was like, this could be true.
What do you think it is about you that when you like are interested in someone, you're actually like excited, like getting along, and as soon as they actually start to show interest, you're like immediately no?
I don't know. I'm still working on it.
But I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah. I think the ones that do like me off the bat, like I do genuinely think like, oh my God, I could like them. But in reality, like I do know from the beginning that
you're just playing it out.
And I say like, oh, maybe after a couple dates. But it's like I genuinely deep down know. But then your bitch ass goes, well, you're never going to find somebody if you don't give people more than one chance.
I do say that.
And I'm like, okay, but I think I know.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. And I think you do have really like good gut instincts and like you have such good head on your shoulders. Next time I won't push you going on another date if I know you know.
Yeah, because I'm just waiting for that one,
Yeah. Do you feel like you'll find someone in Toronto? Slim pickings.
Yeah, I was gonna say the pool keeps getting smaller. Every time I look, it's smaller.
Hey, when next year we go see Lewis Hamilton in real life, I think the stars will align for you there.
Yeah.
But will you make an exception for Lewis Hamilton for being from England and not being circumcised?
Yeah, I'm not into men that aren't circumcised, but I would be willing to make the exception for one 5'8.5" Formula One driver.
No,
Oof.
but he has such big dick energy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I will make the exception to go for an uncircumcised man, but yeah, I'm just waiting for it to happen. All the stars are coming together, so it's almost like I'm just wasting time until that.
Exactly.
happens.
You don't have to kiss. Yeah, like you're Prince Charming.
I just gotta find him. Thought, when the race was in Austin, I started seeing like a couple people from Formula One come across Raya, but not drivers. There was like engineers I saw.
Okay.
Like a couple mechanics. Pit? Yeah, like a couple, but I mean, not the talent that I was hoping for.
But legend has it that he has been on Raya and people have seen his profile. So I have such high hopes. And I don't think he's dating anyone.
So what do you think, if you were single, what would be your dating app of choice?
I'm still a big Hinge girl. I think Hinge has really good promises. I've never been on Raya, so I don't know. Those fuckers like put me on a wait list for like 5 years. And I literally got a notification like 2 years into my relationship with Leo. And I was like,
they're like, you're in.
Yeah, I was like, bitch. I think Hinge, but I don't know if you know this, but like I'm really good at dating apps.
Yeah, I believe it.
The amount of successful dates I've acquired for not myself but for other people, like I think I would thrive on dating apps.
Wait, how did you and Leo meet? On Hinge?
No, we met IRL.
I don't know.
When we met at this party at Stacked.
I do know this.
Yeah. He tracked me down on the DMs.
He saw you there and then he found your Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you know the full story?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I go to this party, and as I'm like walking in, he's quite tall, but I also have a tall friend who kind of looks like him, and I thought it was that guy, and I like smiled really big at him from far away, and it was a fucking love at first sight for Leo. And then the whole night, I could see this like tall man, tattooed man, like staring at me, like literally wherever I went, I could just like see him. And then at one point, I went up to his group of friends because we had a mutual friend, so I went and said hi to him, and after I left, Leo goes to him being like, oh my God, who's that girl? She's the love of my life. And then we don't end up talking that night, but at like 11:30, I get a DM request and it's him. And he's like, hey, like I saw you tonight. Didn't want to come talk to you to be creepy, but like, do you want to go for a drink next weekend? And I was like, sure, whatever. And I feel bad because like every time I tell this story, I play it as if like I wasn't interested, but I was not interested. I remember like he asked to go for drinks on Saturday. I worked at a residency, and literally 30 minutes before I was supposed to meet him, I was like talking to Brandon, being like, I don't really want to go. I was having a really good hair day, and I was like, this cannot go to waste. So I went on the thing, and then rest is history.
Oh my God, that is cute.
But I've had like such fun dating experiences through dating apps, and I hate small talk, but I can really think quick on my feet, and I think I can use that to my advantage.
Yeah, you definitely can. I also feel like too, your type is all over the place.
It is. It really is.
Like when I think back to like younger Jazz and just different types of guys, there is no like...
No.
So did you ever see yourself thinking that you're going to like settle down with a bald Brit?
Like, no, definitely not.
Meanwhile, tattoos.
Yeah. 6'4", shaved head, tattooed man was so far from what I thought I would end up.
Oh yeah, bald by choice. I don't think he's actually bald.
No, God, clear the air, man. No, definitely did not see that coming for me. And I don't know, it's not that I look for personality. And like, obviously I do, but like, yeah, I guess I just didn't have a type and I just didn't know what I liked. And to get a little bit deep, I think, growing up, because I didn't have any representation of Asian people falling in love with like white people.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I genuinely didn't think like white guys like found me attractive. I remember even like in high school, like, I could never like say out loud what guys I had a crush on because I was like, it's no way it's ever going to be reciprocated. And I wonder if that like did something to my like confidence. I really just like ended up liking anyone who showed me interest, and that could have been just like low hanging fruit guys. And I feel like I just kind of ended up dating them because like they did end up being really funny, but maybe they didn't have a strong motivating career ahead of them. But like I just kind of like settled, and like I just kind of wanted to see where it went. And I was very much in the mindset of like, I'm just gonna try it to see where it goes. In hindsight, I should have been a bit more picky.
Yeah, well, we all wish that.
Yeah. Oof, I definitely was not picky.
But I feel like it would definitely like knock your confidence to just think, oh, there's no point in even having a crush on this person because they would never look at me like that. So it's like you're just, even if you don't mean to, subconsciously, you're just always going to think that.
Yeah, I think that was like my foundation. And no one of my, like, a lot of my girlfriends at the time were also single, but we also kind of dated within like the same crowd. So like I never saw like a functioning relationship around me to like even know what that was about. But I definitely, yeah, I don't have a type. Even looking back, like I feel like if you were to put them on like on a wall, like nothing would be in common.
No.
Height, hair, style, like all different.
Yeah, totally different. Just, yeah. But I mean, that makes it more fun. Now you know what you want and what you absolutely do not want.
Yeah, not exactly. I know more what I don't want than what I do want. But then I got lucky with this one, so I'm good.
Yeah, you are lucky.
You have a type, though.
No, I don't.
I feel like long hair.
No one's ever said that. Nobody would ever say that.
But I feel like you're really picky.
Yeah, I'm very picky, but somehow seem to pick the wrong ones.
That one pick she does is never the right one.
Yeah, no, never. No, it's always the most fucked up one, too. I've learned that my feet are placed in front of me to go forward, not backward.
Didn't, like, Kris Jenner say that?
Who said that? I don't know. I heard it very recently.
On the Kardashians. I think it was definitely Kris Jenner.
I heard it recently, and I was like, that is brilliant.
I have never heard a single thing smarter. I feel like we have been in each other's life for such weird stages in our life. Almost like the adolescence, like early 20s, where we like literally didn't know anyone, to like my favorite memory of me and Mac is like one night at apartment 200, we literally hid in the bathroom stall, I think for legitimately 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was at
least
like
crouching on the floor, and that was like the most like emotional, like heart to heart I've ever had with. Like we really opened up.
Yeah, but like not one of us was even sat on the toilet. Like we both were crouched, squatting on the ground.
I don't know why. Like I don't
because we were in such like an intense conversation. Like our eyes were locked and we weren't blinking. Like we were just in it.
Yeah.
Till like the door was about to get busted down.
And then there was like that phase, and then you moved away, and then now you're back, and like I feel like our friendship always blossoms when we are together, and we're definitely one of those friends like we can go like months without talking, and like when I see you, we like pick it right back up.
Yeah.
So I would also call you a very special friend.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, I feel like we've known each other through most of our like our adult like growing up, like all these like very weird phases and learnings and growings, and we've like our friendship, not that it ebbs and flows, but like you said, like it can go like off for a little bit, but not because of anything, just because it's life, and like we're just not in the same place maybe at the same time. But then I could like text you and it wouldn't be weird no matter what.
My favorite texts are like, hey, and I was like, oh, get my teacup, like what is it? Every TikTok about like, oh my god, do you know who's been annoying me lately? And like slow-mo of you like walking through the room. Like I think, that is our definition of our friendship.
Yeah, on that I did a podcast with my cousin Kennedy, and I read out those rules that you sent me for like how you have to gossip. And I was saying to her, I was like, there is only a few people that I do like my best gossiping with. It's like a handful of people, and definitely you're at the top.
Thank you. I just love the entire feeling of gossiping. I love because there's also good gossipers.
You're on such a high. It's like
and the roller coaster ride that you go on with this person by your storytelling, it's gotta have an intro, a peak, a climax, moments for discussion and questions. And like your storytelling's really good, because usually like you take a while to tell the story because you include so much detail and backstory, and we touch on this, but then we to get there we got to go back here and know all about that, and know what happened in their childhood as to how we got here, and then we revealed the secret, and then we have to talk about each person individually. 100%. Oh my god, I just got wet thinking about that. Like because I think sometimes there's so much context, and I was like, but it's really important because I need to tell you this to like understand this part of it. So thank you for appreciating my storytelling. I really put a lot of thought into the way I deliver my gossip.
Yeah, no, I do. When I open my phone and I have like a 3-minute voice note, I'm like, oh my god, something happened.
Gotta Take notes.
Yeah, I have to usually like stop and like say something and then I'll listen to the rest. I gotta like do comments as I listen because I'm like,
no, I absolutely, you're definitely my top 3 go-to person when a hot gossip hits the press.
yeah, there's, oh my God, nothing better, honestly. So what are you working on these days? What's next for Jazz?
Hopefully finding a new job. I like lost 50% of my work in the ending of September. So I'm kind of in this phase of trying to figure out what my next steps are going to be. I was really lucky to have kind of like a month off to kind of sort it out, but I'm kind of hard on myself because I thought I'd get so much more done during that month off, and like 3 weeks went by and I haven't done a single shit. But like a mantra I've been telling myself every morning as I'm like journaling, it's opportunities are going to come in abundance. So I've just been like capturing in that. And yeah, I'm like kind of itching to go away somewhere. Only thing I have planned is I'm going to Chicago for Christmas. Honestly, I want to stop talking down on myself about being like quote unquote old, because I'm genuinely loving being in my 30s and I just need to continue to embrace it. And I have this like weird chip on my shoulder about being in our 30s. And I think it's because we're so groomed to think that 20s are the end all be all.
100%.
It truly isn't. And I'm like, look at Kim Kardashian. She got like big in her 40s. So yeah, I just want to embrace that. And yeah, that's kind of it. I'm kind of scared for 2022 to be over, to be honest. It went by so fast.
I know. I agree with the whole like hating on yourself because you're in your 30s. I go through stages where I'm like, okay, 30, it's nothing. Like it didn't change anything. But I was having like a bit of a breakdown the other day thinking like, okay, I'm going to be 31 in like 2.5 months. And that just
31.
Yeah, but it just seems crazy because it's like 30 was such made to be a big deal.
Yes.
And now I'm even past that. And it's like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? You know, but that's all because you're put these unreal expectations on yourself. So I get that. And then I hate making the comments to myself like, oh my God, I'm so old. I can't be doing this, or I shouldn't be doing this. But it's like, okay, like it's not like I'm like 60 and hitting the club. I mean, maybe I will. But like, I am acting like I'm like actually too old to be doing stuff when it's like,
and we're not.
Come on.
I know. It's like we're literally limiting ourselves with our own opportunities with our own fucking mindset. And like we cannot be doing that because
100%.
We're still hot. I still get carded. People get surprised when I tell them I'm 31. Like we're still in it. It's still good. Don't you ever find those moments where like, I don't know, for example, in like a social situation, I think if I were to be in that situation in my 20s, I'd have been so much more like insecure or like worried about what I'm wearing or like all this
totally
stuff. But, like, now I definitely feel so much more settled in my own skin, and like there's a new layer of like confidence where like I just like really don't care, and the things that I used to fixate on before, it just like doesn't exist anymore. And I feel like that's embracing your 30s, and like that's what it's like kind of all about.
Yeah, it kind of makes me emotional to think back of like the ways I would feel in my 20s, and makes me feel so sad for like myself or like women in general, because you don't know things until you know them, right? And you can't know them without going through them and getting older. Like that's just 100%. Like I think back to relationships or things I let slide, and I'm like, I would have done this and this now. Like there's no way I would have let that happen. But it's like you just don't you don't know it, and like how insecure I would be, whereas now I would just be like, okay, I don't give a fuck, like why would I care? So it makes me sad to think that like, you know, I ever felt that way, or even like now there's still gonna be days where I feel that way, but it's I don't know, it makes me emotional for how much you do grow.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it.
That's so true. Yeah, like thinking about like 20-year-old Jasmin, like I wish I could tell her, don't date that guy, don't worry about this, like it's not gonna matter in like few years. But like to your point, even if a 30-year-old woman gave me all those advice back then, I wouldn't have listened to her. I've been like, fuck off, I'm gonna do this on my own. So like we're here because we need to be here and go through all of that shit. But
that video that you sent me about that girl saying like, oh, this is advice that whatever I wish I knew in my 20s, it was all things that I was like, this is stuff that would have been so valuable. I would have never listened to it. But now that I've been through almost everything that she had said, I was like, okay, this is a very common thing, I guess, for 20 something women. 100%. But like you don't realize it and you don't know it, and you let men specifically, and maybe sometimes other women, but men specifically treat you in a way that like you know is wrong and you feel bad about it because you feel shit about yourself for letting someone do it, but like you don't have the knowledge or the balls or the whatever to ask for better or demand better or whatever. And you can see it so clearly now, but like it does piss me off that we waste so much time letting that happen.
I don't blame the cultural impact that we were under to act the way we did, or like, you know, hold things close to our heart and like not feel safe to talk about it, because that was the nature of it. So I don't want to like be hard on myself on that. But I think it is nice to be on this side of the coin, to be like, oh no, 20-year-old Jazz, it's okay. And like, I think the more we feed in and like take times like this where we can like reflect on our like younger selves, to be like, it's okay, like we have to go through and like kind of grieve that with their younger selves. Hopefully like it'll hurt less and less like as we continue to grow and like revisit our younger selves.
Yeah, 100%. One of my favorite things about being older is that like I don't feel that powerless in sexual situations at all anymore. Like I feel very much like, I don't know, I feel like that's a big deal.
Good. Yeah, no, I agree. That's a win for being older.
Yeah, I'll take that. Also, just like being able to date guys that know what the fuck they're doing in the bedroom.
True. Oh my God.
Sake.
Yeah. Oof. Sometimes like guys who give up big dick energy just like really surprise you with the complete opposite. And I'm just like, oh wow. And like guys that you were like so hot for, and like you finally get to like hook up with them, you're just like, that was it.
They pump for like a minute and they're like, oh did you finish? It's like, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Couldn't you tell?
Remember, but then the lack of the disrespect for like making sure that I got anything out of it, like no one. Every like one night stand that I've had, they're like, oh dude, they have never cared for me.
No. That wasn't even their mission. That wasn't why they were doing it at all. I've said this before, like any guy that I think I had sex with before I was like 25, 26, that wasn't what they were having sex for.
I think they knew that part of the intercourse is like,
I don't even think that they understand that is like the goal is for both of you to be enjoying it, not just one. But I've also learned that you think like these guys that are out banging hundreds of women, and like some of them, not that I think that's hot, but like the guys that are doing that usually are, you know, quite attractive and they're like cool, whatever. They're usually the ones that are the worst at having sex. It's guys that have been in like long-term relationships that like have got to know the way a woman's body works and like know how to have sex. It's really only guys that have been in long-term relationships that are like really good at it, that get it.
So true. Okay, my friend slept with like a really, really famous Korean pop star, and like I won't name because I'm not supposed to talk about it. She said that it was the worst sex of her life.
Probably.
And this guy is like the most like iconic, handsome, like such a popular figure. But she said it was like a jackrabbit, completely awful. And of course, how the fuck are they supposed to know? They never get to be in a relationship when a girl is ever gonna be like, you're not doing it right.
Yeah. These guys are absolute slags and they're out there just dicking anybody down, and it's horrible. It's like literally for one purpose.
I feel like I've been sweating this entire time. I was like, oh, get great lighting here. Meanwhile, it's like a fucking sunset, so it's been blinding.
But anyways, so Jazz, thanks so much for coming on. I'm so excited that we finally got to do this. Everybody's
honored.
gonna love it.
I fucking hope so.
They will. But seriously, thanks so much for coming on, and I love you so much.
I love you.
And new episode out next week. You can stream on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Thanks for coming on this fucking ride. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.